So you think a movie that's basically about the beginning of the Black Widow would be pretty good, right? Actually, it's kind of really out there and not in a good way. So Lucy is a movie based on the false scientific claim that we only use 10% of our brains. Scarlett Johansson's character Lucy gets exposed to this new crazy super drug, and basically it lets her unlock, you know, everything, the whole 90%. And she starts getting all these abilities like telekinesis, mind reading, and a lot of other crazy ass stuff. So this movie is basically going from like 10% all the way to 100% and then ending. Now I'm not gonna debate the we only use 10% of our brains thing, because even though it's bullshit, there is another movie that does base its plot around this, and it does it well, and it's called Limitless. I bet some of you guys have seen Limitless. It stars Bradley Cooper. No superpowers in that one though, but it is a very well done drama and movie overall, so you should definitely go check it out. And I would definitely say Limitless is the better movie. For one, this movie does have a lot of cool stuff in it though. There's some really interesting editing choices and like cutaways towards the beginning of the movie where they would show like a mouse going to a mouse trap, just as, you know, Scarlett Johansson's about to get captured by these Korean gangsters that are apparently in Taiwan. And also they used a lot of interesting motion graphics and visual effects. There's this one crazy ass car scene that I'm not sure how they shot that. If that was real or CGI, I don't know, but it was awesome. Morgan Freeman is just there, and he's Morgan Freeman basically. Scarlett Johansson's acting is actually pretty good for the first like 30 minutes, which is actually the best parts of this movie. You have some pretty decent action scenes, but the cooler ones are definitely in the first 30 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the first 30 minutes to maybe 45-ish minutes of this movie are really the best parts, because it quickly pulls a transcendence on us. What I mean by that is it becomes really out there and kind of outlandish. So she keeps going from like 20% to 30% to 40%, 50% to up to like 100%. And the movie shows like actual number counters on the screen, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. And the abilities become like even crazier as you go along. We're talking like beyond Professor Xavier kind of level here. So it becomes really ridiculous towards 100%, where she starts like manipulating like universe matter and stuff like that, traveling through time. Like what? The trailer for this movie kind of made it out to be, you know, like Limitless meets Taken kind of thing, you know, where, you know, she takes the drug and she becomes like freaking Liam Neeson or the Black Widow, like I said earlier. But actually it goes a lot further than that and tries to pose this these philosophical questions about the universe, the existence of the universe and stuff like that. And while that's interesting, it sort of kind of takes away the point of the premise and the movie, which I thought was actually cool to begin with. So if this movie was actually kind of like Limitless and Taken, it would actually be pretty cool. Because the first 30 minutes are really the best parts of the movie, where everything just kind of starts up, it starts to ramp up, Scarlett starts doing all this crazy stuff. It became kind of ridiculous when she started like disintegrating and stuff. Now if you've seen my Transcendence review, you'll know why I thought this movie pulled a Transcendence, because in Transcendence, Johnny Depp basically becomes a freaking god by the end of the movie, which is actually kind of what happens here as well. And another thing is, like, no one seemed to care about the crazy things she was able to do. There's a part where she just carries a gun around in the hospital and no one seems to notice. Never mind the fact that she like threw people across the room and stuff like that. Like no one bats an eye, which is a little weird. At least in Transcendence, people started noticing when Johnny Depp was going off the rails doing all this crazy nanobot stuff. So I think I'm kind of rambling now, so let's just put it this way. The movie does have some cool visual effects, some decent acting, a very cool premise to begin with, some really enjoyable action scenes as well, but ultimately the story is kind of weak and the movie does start to fall off towards the end and became kind of ridiculous. So I don't know, man, I wanted to like this movie but I just couldn't. I thought it would be a lot more action packed, be focused more around, you know, progressively gaining these abilities instead of, you know, going like leveling up really fast is what I would describe, you know, the progression of her abilities, Lucy's abilities in this movie. Just really fast level up. So I'd say watch Lucy if you know what to expect. Maybe you'll like it because it does have some cool visuals and a couple cool scenes. But ultimately I think it's just an okay-ish movie that could have been a lot better given the concept and the premise if they had improved, you know, kind of the writing towards the end, because like I said, the first 30 minutes is actually pretty good. So yeah, if you guys have seen Lucy, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if you guys think it's too ridiculous what happens towards the end, because I think it is. So anyway, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you guys next time.